all for joining, even though I know you could be standing in the lunch line right now if you really wanted to be. But afterwards, you'll probably still have another 40-minute wait. So today, what we're going to talk about is security-first approaches with predictable recovery. My name's John Hildebrand. I'm a principal technologist at Cohesity. So one of the things that my company's involved in is obviously backup and recovery. It's part of our core solution. So one of the things that we've announced within the last few months is adding a lot more security capabilities to our platform so that things can be brought and help in the event that things like ransomware happen. So, you don't need to maybe blink if you've got folks around here and don't want to reveal too much. How many folks have been actually impacted by ransomware in some capacity? A few, and I would expect over the course of time that likely is going to increase, especially as things get more complex in that space. So, taking a look at the current state of cyber threats, that's an awfully big number for the cost to the global economy related to cyber threats. And this is things like data leaks, things like ransomware, breaches. So and this is coming from folks like IDC and things like that, and that's just from this year alone. We start going and just drilling on ransomware alone, and apparently I'm in the wrong business. I need to get into ransomware because at 11.5 billion of the costs, and this is just to the end estimated for this particular year, there's a lot of money being thrown around not only either in protection, prevention, or even to the folks who may actually have to pay the ransom because it's that critical to their business. Also on top of it, if you just look at the Fortune 1000 companies, they have a pretty significant sliver somewhere in the 1.5 to 2.5 billion range of that number. So looking at it, and to kind of dovetail, if you watched the first keynote, when Satya mentioned that the medium and the small size businesses are taking the brunt of especially ransomware attacks, this kind of shows that outside of the Fortune 1000, at least 75%, if my math is correct, are taking the brunt of the financial burden from ransomware. So when we look at how this actually happens, how does an organization actually get impacted by ransomware, two things really come to mind. The first thing is user action. As much as we like to think that we've protected the endpoints, that we've protected with other security suites and software within our environments, sometimes you're easily defeated by somebody opening an email. Sometimes that's all it takes, an infected email with a brand new infection, and the next thing you know, it's running rampant within your environment. Also at the same time, you go for vulnerabilities. Think like JBoss is obviously one that's been used quite frequently in a lot of front-end penetration testing to be able to get into environments. So all these devices that we put at the edge or we put at basically the forefront of our data centers, they're generally running with a lot of exploitability, if I just made up a word right there to some degree, that has that capability of letting folks into the environment even though we did not intend for that to happen. So we're going to get into a little bit of a ransomware story. So I have a coworker of mine, Chris, who's not here at this particular show, but he had a former customer of his that started off, so we're going to click in a little bit. Email. So again, email usually ends up being a prime infection point. So one of the users within this organization opened an email with a malicious attachment. Happens all the time. You tell everybody not to and they still do it anyway. Now a ransomware attack auto-installed. During the course of its propagation, now we know that most ransomware nowadays doesn't immediately activate. There's a lot of capabilities built into it where it's poking and probing and trying to find the weak points within your environment. So days later, this activated after it found 400 Windows servers that it could gain access to. So this comes from things like weak passwords, low-end protocols. I can probably yell to the high end about SMB v1 and its security issues, but there's enough exploits internally once somebody gains access that at least in this environment, 400 servers became encrypted all at the same time. Now what that meant is, when this happened, the employees came into work, couldn't access these systems. They were completely offline. Mostly because If you've seen those screens before, the red with the box on there and the Bitcoin link, please send me money and I will give this all back to you. So the demand. Now, I don't know about you, but most organizations that I work with don't have a Bitcoin account. So they have to work through maybe not so reputable locations just to be able to get to the point to buy the Bitcoin before that time runs out. Obviously, if you don't pay, you don't get your data back. And in some particular cases, they may doubly hold you for ransom because that data, they may have copied it before the encryption process, and if it's a sensitive area that you work in, they may publicly expose the data as another measure. So damage not necessarily to your day-to-day operations, but also your reputation could potentially happen. So the aftermath. So in this particular case, the customer did decide to go invest $70,000 into buying Bitcoin to pay for this particular, to pay this ransom to get their data back. So the customer received 400 unmarked keys. So if you can see from an operational standpoint where this may be going, you have 400 random keys, you have 400 servers, guess which ones you have to apply the keys to. So operationally, now you're adding even more time to it because you have no direction as far as which key goes to which server. Then to even add more insult to injury, if that server was greater than 50% full, the encrypted file and then the unencrypted file would sit on the file system. If you were at 50% full, you were going to fill the file system, which in turn was then going to cause even bigger issues. So now you have to play a shell game of moving data all over the data center just to get these servers back. So they went to shuffle so that the encryption could finish, not only based off the fact of random nature of 400 keys to 400 servers. It took 3 days to recover. A full 72 hours, an entire IT team had to work to bring those things back from essentially oblivion. So the business impact, obviously the first thing from a money perspective, revenue. Three days is very significant to any business. Not only that, we talk about employee productivity. So nobody's doing anything, no money's coming in, nothing's being transacted. Contractual obligations, SLAs. So in this particular business, there was time supply operations. So you were impacting now a subset of customers from being able to work with you or whatever service you were being able to provide. The damaged reputation. We think about it nowadays, you get in the news for the wrong thing, folks remember that more for anything that you did positively in the news. So damage, your customers may no longer think that they want to work with you. Your employers and employees now are second guessing your organization as a whole. And not only that, then your ecosystem of business partners that work with you. Combine then the full exposure of the IT department. You get the, what happened? Why didn't product X do what it was supposed to? There's a lot of second guessing that now happens that the IT department generally takes the brunt for. And on top of that, in this particular instance, not only the 70K to get the Bitcoin, but also the estimated cost for that 3 days was 12 million. For some organizations, that's an insignificant amount, but for a lot of smaller organizations, that could cripple, or maybe even put you a lot closer to oblivion than you really wanted to from a business perspective. So, addressing the issue with cohesity. So at the end of the day, I do work for a vendor, so you get to hear a slight bit of a sales pitch going on here. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on is believing that we've got a very good comprehensive cybersecurity core to our platform. So one of the things that we talk about is reducing the attack surface. Because at the end of the day, especially from backup system perspectives, when we talk ransomware, one of the things that is generally targeted by ransomware is your backup system. If you think about it, it's your insurance policy for your organization. So if you not only cripple the frontline servers, but the insurance policy, now you're in even more dire and desperate measures to have to try to resolve the issue. We also have a solution, an app that we run on our framework called CyberScan. This is something that allows us to take a virtual machine object and perform scanning capabilities on our platform and give you an assessment of that particular point in time. So the idea being that if you do have to recover, you have more of a sense of figuring out which point in time to actually use to recover from this particular attack, rather than essentially maybe re-releasing the ransomware again back out to your environment. And at its core, we talk about our file system being immutable and with worm capabilities. So being able to lock the file system down so that only certain individuals or certain privileges can actually write to that file system. At the end of the day, some of the ransomware masquerades itself as credentials that it's captured over the network or utilizing weak protocols to be able to do that. So being able to defend at the file system level to ensure nobody can monkey with the data at that point is very important to a system like this. Being able to detect the ransomware in certain capacities. So if you think about it, some of these ransomware attacks leave traces. It could be that maybe your ingest rates for data skyrocket compared to normal flow of day-to-day operations. We have the capability with our solution in Helios to be able to detect when anomalies happen after we've ingested the data in the backup system. To give you a little clearer idea of where to start pinpointing where to respond from. And on top of it, being able to respond with something that I really like telling a lot of folks about, which is instant mass restore. At the core of our product, when we do a backup, especially of a virtual machine, what we actually do is a full hydrated snapshot. It's not a chain base with merging that happens. So we're able to present you that full image to be able to recover from in a very quick fashion. So you don't have to wait for an entire merge operation to happen over the course of time. That point in time, it's instantly available. So, reducing that attack surface to protect, control, and leverage your data, consolidating your backups and files and objects onto this platform, being able to then not only then also search and index through that data, very important to be able to pinpoint where the data is located at, and then to manage it through a single global UI. So with the cyber expose and the vulnerability management solution, so a little more on CyberScan, this allows us to also then drill into those blind spots, give you more of an insight across the board. Again, better drill down in the effect that if you do have to respond, you have a much more robust playbook to figure out where to respond from. So being able to recover with confidence, knowing that each one of those snapshots has got some sort of health and recoverability status, you can avoid re-injecting vulnerabilities in the environment, and not only that, then instantly recover. You can do this scanning for the risk posture, either ad hoc, on demand, schedule it, do a regular point in time schedule of scanning the device. More frequent scans if it's that important. And on top of it, the impact isn't to the production environment, because again, we're doing it on our platform with the backup copy. So we're not impacting your production workload and adding overhead. And also that, being able to respond, because at the end of the day, this application in CyberScan, if you've heard of the company Tenable, we're utilizing their databases and their organization of CVE articles to be able to perform the scanning capabilities against. But, as we all know, stuff happens. What, do you think I was going to say the other word on there? Come on. But sometimes stuff happens, and we do have to actually respond to a particular ransomware attack. So in this particular case, we go back to our 5-point circle that we have. We're going to try to prevent this by making sure that our system back here with our backups is not being directly attacked like some of the prior generation backup systems that were out there. We're going to try to detect with the anomaly detection to give you a little bit more insight and maybe a little bit of a heads up before things start becoming an issue. And on top of that, then to respond en masse, recover all those devices that just got activated, because now there should be a lot of predictability in the ability to respond based off the fact that we know that we should not have had any sort of attack on our backup system. Oop. So once again, there's our 5-point system about the integrated cybersecurity, being able to reduce the attack surface, providing security posture with the CyberScan app, defending with, at its core, a file system that is pretty resistant to attack. I'm not going to say impossible to attack. That I would then have to rescind that very quickly. And also being able to detect and then respond in the event that something does happen. So I want to thank you folks for spending your pre-lunch time